Hello and welcome to episode 8 of our Ostriv Alpha 4.5 Let's Play. It is January of 1728 in our town. Last episode we got over 100 population and we started building a whole bunch of interesting stuff, including this little area right here where we have irregularly shaped house plots in an effort to kind of shed the reputation we've garnered with the previous playthroughs that had just square everywhere like down here. So this should be pretty interesting, if for no other reason than to have kind of offset gardens and stuff going everywhere. So yeah, we will take a quick moment here to check out what we have queued up. We do have 3 houses here, here, and here. We have lime kiln and lime works, and then a shoemaker's workshop back up in the other area as well. And we're going to try and get as many more production chains set up and operating as we possibly can. Our townsfolk are going to need shoes pretty soon. They are currently buying new warm clothes and new regular clothes that we've been producing. We have our tannery fully operating, and we have a pretty solid farm system set up with different animals. We'll probably not be adding pigs quite yet because they tend to be very annoying to keep up with, but we will we'll see exactly what happens with that. Well, let's go ahead and take a moment to observe these houses getting built here. And we can take a look and see just exactly what will be shaping up in this part of town as stuff gets delivered. And we see the different angled position of houses and everything. It should be pretty interesting. I would like to see exactly how all the different crop angles and stuff in people's gardens will look. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. It's always fun to watch them build houses, of course. We probably do at some point need to do additional cart sheds and cart parkings. I don't think we have enough people to actually employ at the cart sheds necessarily, but cart parking is a pretty easy thing to add. We've got, just for right now, just 2. One at the farm and one over here in this kind of production area. Probably should add some more. I am going to move, as soon as these trees are all gone, I'm going to move this forestry away from here and probably put it on this island right here, as this will be an area that we're going to be looking to develop in the foreseeable future. Not super quick, but it will be happening. So I thought this house was interesting because I put it at such a weird angle compared to the other ones, and it's got a very strangely shaped lot. So we'll see what they end up planting, if they're able to do too much with that. Another young, newly married couple. But we can leave them to that and take a look at the island, start to strategize a little bit here. They are mining out presently these stone deposits, and there's limestone further down on this other end here. But I think this island is probably going to be, hey, see, they go back down to here so much. There's actually a path already made up. But I think this is probably going to be more well suited to just residential stuff with maybe a little bit of production mixed in. Probably put another bridge somewhere over here when we get to that point. But there's going to be lots of space, and we want to make sure we take full advantage of all of our stuff because I'm trying to make this another extremely densely populated town, like our dearly departed original Alpha 4 playthrough that had nearly 1,400 residents before the save file corrupted. Anyway, last episode, we got the salt going, we got oil going, and we finally got the first of our clothing. There's a couple other things we took care of as well, but I want to try and see if we can get fish a little bit more reliably going here. We just have the one fishing dock because it wouldn't let me place anything else here. So we'll probably put somewhere we can find space for another 1 or 2 fishing docks as we add more people. We do have some looking for jobs right now, so that's pretty encouraging because we can go and kind of modify what's going where. We do need to put another granary around because these are very full. And And I know we have people that would love to sell more of their crops. And we're just going to keep building more and more houses with gardens. So what we should probably go ahead and do, just get ourselves another granary. Again, it doesn't have to be super close to everything else. I'm going to try and not be so completely centralized in most of what I'm doing here. So I actually think right here would be a good spot for another granary, just because it's kind of close to the market and it's not right up next to this other one. But I don't want to get rid of the forestry quite yet. So we might actually be okay not putting another granary in just quite yet, because we do have some people that are still purchasing and selling here, and it seems to work reasonably well. Of course, now it's planting time. Gonna have some potatoes, some buckwheat, some more wheat, some sunflower, and some hemp. So there's actually only one fallow field this time around, which is interesting how that ends up working sometimes. And we'll need all hands on deck for harvesting, to be sure. That also means that our sheep right here are going to go to their sheep farm pasture. And we're going to have a ton of wool again, which is, of course, why I built this warehouse that has all of the wool here. Very, very useful thing. If you are playing the game, I'd highly recommend you have ample storage dedicated just to wool, because that can kill your sheep very, very quickly if you don't have enough room to store, because it'll just pile up in the sheep farm, and then the hay and the water won't be able to be placed in there because there's just not room for it. And it looks like our reserves for hay are getting kind of low, so that is something that I figured we were probably gonna have to keep an eye on. I've never seen the windmill rotate that slowly at 12 times speed. That's very interesting. Normally it's a lot faster than that. Anyway, we can go ahead and look for a couple more places to put hay dryers, and then build a couple more hay barracks as well. I would like to have at least 2 years of supply of hay. I'm sure when they add spoilage, that'll stop being a thing I can do, but I've had such bad luck with it in the past, I just don't want to mess with it. So we have a messenger here. We have enough iron. We don't have a ton. Let's take a look at now we're starting to amass more resources. They will buy up to 800 sunflower oil. We only have 200, so we're not doing that. Clothing, we're nowhere close. And leather and textile and all that. We could conceivably sell potatoes, but this is such a small amount, I'm not really trying to mess with that. So we're okay for right now. We just need, most of all of anything else, to get more people moving into the town. And little stuff like this will help just a bit. I'm going to go ahead, while this house is being constructed, I'm going to go ahead and put in some more of these cottonwood trees. I don't particularly care if they're not historically accurate. I just think it's kind of a nice look to have something so starkly contrasted to the rest of the foliage in the game. And until we get other stuff added in future updates, you got to make do with what you have. Kind of reminds me of the early years of Minecraft. I guess now that game is experiencing another resurgence of popularity. I started playing the game, I think the game was still in beta, very early beta, so it would have been probably January of 2011. And there were basically no block types besides just basic building blocks. And I guess now they have all sorts of crazy stuff now I would have never even imagined. You know, it kind of stifles creativity, in my opinion, when you have too much variety versus something that makes you have to get creative with what you use to construct things. I'm totally lost at it. I probably can't ever play a new version of the game again and feel the same way I did when I played it in the past, just because it's so different now. But I guess that kind of, to tie it back into Ostriv, is, you know, the charm of having a game that has such a rugged simplicity to it, but also enough depth to where you feel like you can accomplish pretty much anything you want to do, despite not having access to everything you might want to use, I think is a very powerful thing in the video game world, because it makes you think about stuff. And instead of focusing on, wow, look at all this stuff that I can do, it's, I want to do this, how can I make that happen? And yeah, I mean, this game does have a lot of variety in terms of different production chains and different things you can do. But at the core of it, the game has a couple basic elements. You have housing, you have production, and then you have different modes of, I guess, using resources for other purposes, like say trading and stuff like that. And then you have the decorated aspect of it. Like it's complicated enough for you to have depth and feel like there's some sort of sense of satisfaction when you do something that's nice, but it's not so complicated that you're just completely overwhelmed. Or at least I'm not, because I've been playing this game for, I don't know, a year and a half. But I digress. This is a good game, but if you're watching this video, you probably already like it, or you're at least invested enough in it to watch somebody play a whole bunch of minimally edited clips of it. Anyway, the lime kiln is almost done, and it's done now, so we don't actually hire anybody for this building. This is literally just supplied by laborers. They will stack charcoal and I guess regular limestone, and they'll burn it, and it'll create quicklime. And then you take the quicklime to the lime works, I guess. And then I don't know what they do in there. I'd have to look it up again. But they do some sort of process to it, and it turns it into just regular lime, which then goes to the tannery. We have a little bit left over here from the last time we bought, and they use that in the tanning process. So we definitely don't need 20 laborers for this. We can go down to 4, because that is just absurd. It'll get it done really fast, but that takes away people from everything else. I think we have everything. Yeah, everything is sewn here, so that's looking good. Looking very, very good indeed. Yeah, we don't really have enough sunflower to do another batch right now, which is completely fine. So we'll get this lime works done. We actually do hire people for the lime works. So as soon as this is finished building, we'll do that. Again, it's so much fun to watch the game just build stuff. What's Dirkachi want? Charcoal. We're going to sell him charcoal. Shoes are very lucrative. We just can't produce enough of them yet. So we'll see what else we're able to do. I do have to dig us out of this financial hole. I mean, I guess not really, because the game doesn't have a failure condition for not having enough money. But it does make it impossible to call messengers, so you're kind of at the beck and call of whoever wants to show up to your town. Fortunately, that's not really a problem, as they seem to come pretty often. But at any rate, the limeworks is complete. We'll go ahead and check all of this stuff. Yeah, so it combines water and quicklime. That's what it does. It's a pretty simple thing. We'll go ahead and have 2 people work there. We will turn off during planting and harvesting, but not completely for like the entire season, because honestly, we're about to get to the point where we probably don't have to do seasonal hiring for a lot of stuff, except maybe the fishing docks and everything. But I mean, there's a lot of different layers to the game that we just kind of have to take one step at a time. And we still have open vacancies, so that means we can add more housing. So looking up here, I think we're still close enough to these market stalls. I would like to try and build as much as I can around this general area before we expand out. I think by kind of forcing yourself to have a different approach to things, that's how you're going to have something as an end product of a town that's more compelling and more interesting to look at, versus, oh, I'm just going to build a grid out one way and then go the other way. No. If you try to like force yourself to have artificial limitations, you can really come up with some creative stuff. Like, see right here, if I keep everything in this general box, that's going to force me to try and get creative with where I place houses. Like, see right here, I just wanted to go along the shoreline here, and I knew I wanted another layer, so I did this, but that meant I couldn't put a house here, and I couldn't really put houses here, so you end up with this very asymmetrical mismatched thing, but it adds character too, which is nice. Meanwhile, we have our shoemaker's workshop. You know the drill. Same old, same old. We will kill that during harvest time and on season we'll hire 2, because we should have, we have 1,000 leather, and that will need to go into the shoemaker's workshop, and then they can start making shoes, and then eventually we can sell them. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. And we are doing better with our income here. Looks like we're actually getting a lot of money from our land tax, which is interesting. We might end up raising that after we see how it affects itself. Yeah, see, now we're starting to get a wealth distribution trending lower, which, at least for the way I prefer to play the game, is better. Because if you have, most of your households have 40 to 100 coins, like all your wealth is tied up in your households. And if they move out, then they take it with them. But if you keep everyone between, say, 5 and 20, and you have 100 households, that's a lot less of your money tied up in people's, well, they don't have bank accounts, I guess, but in their shoebox or whatever they keep their money in. That way you can have more agency over how the finances work in your game. Anyway, that'll become more important as we do a lot more trade. It seems like this one fulling mill is actually keeping up pretty well. We still have a lot of wool left. We probably could build another one of these, but we don't presently have the resources as far as tailors and people making the clothing to actually outpace the generation that this does and the tanning process does. So they need sheep hides. They need 50 more sheep hides. We don't currently have any to kill here, so that'll just have to happen eventually. So let's take a quick look at these. This is why I wanted to do this, because you see, like, you have this nice variety here. In this plot, you have the cabbages here. You have, I think this would be probably carrots right here. And then this would be whatever this is. Onions, most likely. But the way that it's offset and you have the path going through, I think is just really, really cool to look at. And then right here, to some degree, you have that as well. And then here, especially with the apiary in the front yard, and then you have the bushes and everything. It's so nice to have a variety that's not just, oh, hey, straight lines everywhere. Even though these are straight lines, they aren't congruent and they don't have a uniformity, I guess is probably the best way to put it. No, I just think it's nice. That's fun. But we are getting pretty close now to most of these trees, most of those trees being torn down. I probably should have, now that I was thinking about it, probably should have planted more hay dryers, because I don't think it's a mowing season anymore. It could still be. So just for the sake of trying to save my animals, go ahead and pull one of these. Yeah, it's still a mowing season. Okay, that's fine. They'll keep mowing that. Because this will stay on if it's fully dried until it's put in a hay barrack. So I guess now is actually the time to go ahead and put another one of these in here. I really don't know where to put a lot of this stuff. I guess I could put one right here. So I guess it would be kind of a logical place to put it. It's just, if you're not just focused on putting everything in a straight line, it becomes a lot more difficult to actually get stuff done in the way that it probably needs to get done, but it's going to yield a more interesting result. So let's not block the window there. Let's actually kind of think about our environmental design. We'll put one more hay barrack right here on the back side of this, because we do need some for the farm here. Yeah, see, this is actually working pretty well. So they are all working, trying to get the fields harvested here. So maybe we might need to consider cutting some of our builders. Like, for example, we have 7 builders. We're not really building much of anything. So during harvest season, of course, we can get rid of some of them, and maybe they will go work at the farm. Time will tell. We will find out, I guess, the... Okay, now there they go. Now we're getting a bunch of women coming in, which is not who I fired, so that's interesting. Hay barrack is done, and it's already being filled, which is good news. Make sure that's all set up. We don't have wagons yet. We should probably do that at some point. I will cut that down to 10. Now, probably still way too many, but you don't need to have 20 workers assigned to everything, right? So I think mowing season would have to end at the end of August, no? Okay, well, anyway. What's the messenger? We can't sell any of this. I really shouldn't buy anything, so we will just kind of leave that alone. Now, as far as our lime works, of course, nothing is happening because the lime kiln is not full. People are still moving things back and forth here. We're already at September. Wow. Time flies, huh? I guess it makes sense if you have the game playing at 12 times speed. But why don't we take just a moment here? Think about, we need to add some more houses. Where would be the best place to do that? Because I think I want to put another bridge down here. I can actually just go ahead and start building the bridge. No reason I can't, right? So we'll just put that there. I think I want to continue these houses kind of around the bottom of here. Would be a nice spot. And we are going to build a tavern at some point. Probably not for a little bit because we are only at 120 some population here. Try not to make things too close together. But you still want to have some sort of a rhyme or reason to it. So this house might actually be a little too close for my preference to that house. So we'll just leave those three. Should be fine. We won't put anything closer to here. But we'll go ahead and push that bridge back down that way because we don't need it right now, of course. Lime kiln is still not full, just it takes time. And while this stone mining camp does have its own carts, they don't use these carts to transport this stuff from here to here. They have to go all the way over there to get carts. So we could probably actually build a cart parking over here as well. So I'll just kind of pop this guy right here. That'll get built eventually. And can also be used for areas over here. So yeah, I think we've got a lot of good stuff going on here. Not a whole lot actually built in this episode, but we have watched a lot of stuff happen and we've got some other stuff queued up. I always thought the patterns in the fields were interesting. But it looks like they're actually going to be able to get all this done, which is good and preferable. Looks like things are still going well over here. Still awaiting the harvest of the sunflowers to do another batch of oil. This is doing fine. Oh, we've made 530 shoes. That's good. So we can actually probably go ahead and start stocking shoes for sale. We'll go ahead and start with 2,000. Because we're just going to keep on making shoes. And we could even buy leather and then turn that into shoes and we'd still make money on it. Because Derkachi buys shoes. They buy 2,000 at a time up to. And I think we have... Why did I click on that? We're going to have in the trading post probably, I think, 530 shoes. We can sell them... We'll sell them 500 for now. And that, I mean, it's only 160 coins, but it does add up. So if we can sell a pair of shoes for 32 cents per unit, we can buy leather for 25. That's not much of a margin, but it does give people a reason to be employed at the shoemaker thing. So we'll go ahead and buy leather because it takes forever to tan it. But since we're making a profit on it, it's fine spending that money and making sure that we're actually taking advantage of the labor that we're paying for. I guess technically we're not really paying for it because it's a closed loop economic system minus the trading post input and output, but whatever. I mean, you can justify whatever however you want. I would like them to build these 3 houses before the end of this episode, though. Lime kiln is just about done, actually. Should be relatively quickly. Should be full up. I think it's... I actually don't know what the capacity is in this. Is it 5,000? Is it 4,500? I don't remember. I thought this was about to be full, but I guess not. They're still gathering all of the resources for this. I will say this definitely does go a lot faster. Do I have anybody working at the thatch thing? That's not thatch. That's not thatch. That's not... Oh my god, okay. No, we do. We're fine. It does go a lot faster when you have more carts and more people to move stuff around with carts, and wagons especially because they have such a higher capacity. So it is kind of slow early on. All this other stuff that you end up having to take care of. So why don't we go ahead and get... I don't even know if that's a good screenshot because there's trees in the way. But I guess I could do something like this maybe. We have all of our limestone stuff. Why not? I like to have a little bit of variety so when you guys see the new episode upload, it's not just, okay, well, there's the same picture every single time. No. It has to have something that's at least remotely interesting, right? Oh, come on. Don't leave because there's nobody to unload. He's there. He's there. He's unloading. Okay, good. I want to know why the manager doesn't unload. Okay, well, we got our stuff anyway, so that's fine. And our shoemakers, well, they're not working right now because I guess we haven't rehired yet. That doesn't happen until December. So, you know, just life in our little Ostriv town. Construction is slow. Just, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Just the way it goes. We seem to still be doing pretty well in terms of different resources. We have a couple people that were complaining about money problems, but once they're able to sell some of this stuff that they're growing, they should be pretty okay. It's just that this is so full, it's kind of hard. But we will we'll rectify that probably next episode if I can get all these trees cut down and move this forestry out of the way. I guess I could just build a granary somewhere else, but yeah, I don't feel like it. But here comes December and here comes the snow. So you know what that means. It's just about time for this episode to be over. Hope you enjoyed. I know it's not as exciting when you don't build a ton of stuff, but it is still nice to take a look around the town and observe things as they happen, make some minor tweaks and adjustments, and get things taken care of that need to be taken care of. So you know the drill. This is the part of the episode where I remind you that I live stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/jcthebeard, playing Ostriv and other games as well. I will be, hopefully this upcoming weekend. I guess that would be, what's today? Right now as I'm recording, this is the 15th of September. This video will go up on the 16th. So probably the 18th or 19th. I would like to be doing a live stream probably in the evening. As far as the Eastern United States time zone is concerned. But I will make an announcement in one of the upcoming videos and all that stuff. You can also follow me on Twitter at JCTheBeard for game memes and stream updates and all sorts of other little stuff like that. But yeah, if you're here just to watch YouTube, that's fine too. I appreciate you, and I am glad that you are along for the ride. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so, because I'm pretty close to 1,000 subscribers and YouTube partnership, which is very, very exciting indeed. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. Yeah, that's all the time we've got for today. We will catch you in the next episode. See ya.